Hi there, coming to you from my campus office today, and I just wanted to follow up on some of the things we talked about before in terms of different types of scholarship. So usually when we think of scholarship or research, we think about laboratory studies in the hard sciences or data collection, like surveys and interviews in social sciences, but not all scholarship falls into those specific categories. So today we're going to talk about 4 different types of scholarship. Hi, I'm Kimberly, a faculty member and a faculty success coach, and on this channel we're going to explore strategies and processes to help you succeed in academia no matter where you're getting started. By the end of today's video, you'll know 4 categories of scholarship with a couple of examples thrown in, so you'll have an idea of where you might want to start on your next research project. Where we left off last time, we were talking about how to generate ideas. The next stage we're going to talk about is what to do once you have those ideas. My category is called design. I'm looking up at my board right there. So my category is called design. But before we talk fully about design, I wanted to just clarify kind of 4 typical types of scholarship in academia. So scholarship of discovery is the first one, and it's what we usually think of when we think of research. And Boyer says that people engaged in the scholarship of discovery ask, what is to be known? What is yet to be found? And scholarship of discovery contributes to the bigger picture of knowledge that we have about our world and how things work. So you might think of people like Einstein's work doing this kind of work, just figuring things out about how our world works. My colleague Daniel Rausch also publishes in the realm of scholarship of discovery, among other things. So he investigates metaphor and politeness in ASL and some other work as well. And I've linked one of his articles below so you can get an idea of what that discovery might look like, where you're just getting knowledge for knowledge's sake. How does this work? What does it mean? Just ways to describe the world and our understanding of the world. He does linguistics research. Other people do that in science, social sciences, and so forth. Next is the scholarship of integration. And Boyer says that integration asks questions like, what do the findings mean? What's possible to interpret from this information that we've gathered? So how do we understand this in the context of whatever situation we're studying? So this is integrating information across different ways, and it's taking facts and information and putting it into perspective and helping us make connections across disciplines in large different contexts. So generally interdisciplinary studies would fall into this category. Studies that want to explain a phenomenon more than just trying to explain a phenomenon, not just from one disciplinary perspective, but taking multiple perspectives. So I just finished a really excellent book called Thinking with Your Hands, which you might notice I do a lot. The surprising science behind how gestures shape our thoughts. And while the study is outside the realm of ASL English interpreting, which is what I usually focus on, there was an interesting connection to deaf people and language use and development that I did not expect in that book. But my point is that Susan Golden Meadow is a developmental psychologist, and many of the studies that she reports on in this book are people who are looking at gesture from different perspectives, like educational psychology, linguistics, and language development. So that's an area that one phenomena is being studied with multiple perspectives. So that's scholarship of integration. Scholarship of application is what I like to do a lot. I don't want to just know something to know it. I want to learn something so we can make the world better, so we can do something with that information. So the application moves toward engagement because we ask questions like, how can this knowledge be applied to problems? How can we use it to be helpful to individuals and to institutions? And how can social problems be defined and help set our scholarly agenda? Again, Boyer said that. It's on page 21. I'll link it below. So most of my work falls into the scholarship of application, and my projects stem from real world ideas and issues that I see, and then I try and investigate them more deeply to learn more about it, and then with the idea that will inform practice. Often I work from a Often I work from interpretive description methodology, and that fits into this category as well. So you can look at some of my past work, but any work that aims to learn something and then apply it to make changes, maybe making changes to policy or practice, for example. Next is the Scholarship of Teaching. Now we often call this the Scholarship of Teaching and Learning. And this has gained popularity in a lot of departments. If you're going up for tenure and promotion, some departments accept Scholarship of Teaching and Learning as valid scholarship in their discipline. Other disciplines say, okay, that's great, but you need to publish on our actual topic, more Scholarship of Discovery or Integration for your tenure and promotion packet. So this is going to be one of those areas you're going to want to check in with the vibe of the people in your specific department and your institution to see what they say and their perspectives on if this is valued as highly as other forms of scholarship. Obviously, Boyer recognizes that the work that faculty do is significant in terms of teaching and trying to get our information to be understood by students. And we need to study that process to make it better. So I do have one article below that some colleagues and I published that fit into the area of Scholarship of Teaching and Learning. I actually have a couple of them. I'll link them below. And another one that I just love is Robert Talbert's books. He has a couple that fall into this category. So one is Flipped Learning for higher education, and the other one is Grading for Growth. I think that's the name of it. I'll put it below. So those are Scholarship of Teaching. For example, Robert Talbert does not study education or pedagogy and that sort of thing. He's a mathematics faculty member. That's what his doctorate's in, but he wants to improve his teaching, so he has done a lot of study in how to make teaching better. So Scholarship of Teaching and Learning. So hopefully this gave you just a really quick overview of the 4 primary types of scholarship that you can have in your career. And again, each program, department, institution is going to have different level of value placed on different types of scholarship in terms of the big classification, and then also how you're producing your scholarship and sharing your scholarship with others, whether that be presentations at peer-reviewed conferences or publications in journals, publications in newsletters and professional publications and so forth. So that's where you really need to work with your on-site people to get a better idea how that works. And then if you're considering changing institutions in the future, seeing what's valued within your field at large, maybe even beyond the specific department you're in, because ASL and interpreting programs, as my research shows, are in all kinds of departments, all over institutions and in all types of institutions. So knowing what your institution does and values and your specific department might not be representative of what's valued in a different department. So thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please give a thumbs up and subscribe, and you'll keep getting updates about the next sections we're going to talk about on moving work along your publication pipeline. Keep exploring.